And our final question is, how can schools make sure that parents are still engaged during self-isolation or local lockdowns?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. If you look at the type of parents you need to engage during a lockdown, it's those vulnerable pupils. You've got to be checking with those first and foremost. Schools, you know, in some ways should almost have a priority order of kids they're checking down and checking in with those families. In terms of engaging them, well, it's got to work for the parents. So you've got to make it easy to do. You've got to make it smooth. We've been looking at some ideas around like parents kind of checking in on an app or checking in on the learning platform. So their child has attended lessons today. Maybe it's like a weekly phone call with the deputy that she kind of ring around the top 20 families that need communication. Some parents, of course, will kind of get stuck in. They won't need any engagement from the school. They'll just be doing it naturally. So I think COVID has just kind of really accelerated a lot of the challenges that schools had with vulnerable kids and vulnerable families.
Absolutely, you're 100% right. That's exactly what I was going to say, is that we've always had these issues with parental communication and engagement. It's just, as you said, it's been magnified during this and has become ever more so important, hasn't it? You know, that's one of the main things that Ofsted are making sure, that those communications are open for any children that are self-isolating, and that there are procedures in place for that. Yeah, and
the sort of way children self-isolate is probably going to change throughout this term. You know, how long they do it for, do they self-isolate just because a class is off or not? That's probably a school or an LA decision. So schools got to be careful not to sort of have such a huge burden of work that nothing's a priority, because that's when things fall through the cracks. And if you look at any sort of failure of the social care system, or you know, where communication is broken down with families, it's always because there's too much on people's plates. You've got to be able to prioritize effectively, and things fall through the cracks. Schools should really be looking at the sort of top 10, 20, 30 families and working down those first. And maybe at the other end, you've got families that you know are going to be fine. You just check in once a week, once a fortnight. Just in terms of tech communication with parents, one of the things we've been thinking a lot about is two-way communication. So not just, you know, school sending stuff out of the office home, but so parents can reply back about what they're doing, whether the child's coming in that day or not, why they're not coming in. We're just releasing an app to help with that. So if you're a Scholar Pack school, you can move on to that app from now. And that will give you like an inbox area where parents can reply to that. Kind of replaces the text messaging comms package. It can work alongside that. Parents don't have to download the app, but the more parents you have on the app, you'll find it's a bit cheaper to run, and facilitates that two-way communication. So we're really excited about that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for spending your time to answer our questions. It's been such a pleasure to have you. Do you want to just do a final closing statement for our members?
Well, thank you for listening. If you've got any questions about Scholar Pack and how we can help, one of the main things over the last 4 or 5 months is having access to data. So if you've found you haven't been able to get access to what you need over the last 3 or 4 months in terms of communicating with parents or assessment data, behaviour data, get in touch with us. Happy to give you a kind of a quick online demo, see what you think.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I'll make sure that I put the link in the comments as well, so that our members can find you.
Yeah, great.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Vicky.
Thank you.